Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What's Happening. I am your beautiful host. This is, of course, my podcast.
The one and only host of this podcast.
Every other week, I'm the host.
Yeah, every week you're the host. Right.
Every other week.
Every week you're the host. Every episode you're the host.
Well, if it falls.
This is your show. We get it.
This is a podcast where Shelby and I dive into all the things that are happening in our lives, your lives, and the lives of everyone. We are not experts on anything, but we know a little about a lot, I would say.
You think?
Yeah. Typically we dive into shows, movies, so pop culture stuff.
Media.
Yeah, a lot of media. But also, we are into whatever is going on. Shelby, how are you doing today?
I'm okay.
What has been happening in your life?
A lot of failures.
Okay.
This is my therapy session.
Lean back. Yeah, you've hit that point in quarantine that I think a lot of people hit.
Like 3 months ago?
Yeah, I was going to say, like 2 days in, they were like, I'm going to be stuck in quarantine for how long?
Yeah.
And you and I were like,
this is easy.
We're given an excuse by the world to continue quarantining.
Forever?
Quarantining, put air quotes around that. But yeah, like you saw everybody trying to DIY everything.
Everyone was making bread.
That was the big one.
Everyone was doing yoga.
So let's talk about not bug snacks. That'll come later. We gotta talk about your, I guess, bread first.
Yeah.
Because that's the most recent failure.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could. I mean,
But we don't know if you failed yet.
Oh, I think I did. I guess as long as it rises, it didn't fail.
Oh, the bread rises.
And as long as it tastes good enough,
Breadish.
I didn't fail.
Your other failure.
Oh, yeah.
Was
pasta.
The pasta.
That was like a half failure because technically I was able to salvage the dough to try again, but I just haven't tried again.
What else have you failed?
I don't know.
Long, awkward pause. Trying to figure out. Our neighbors are bumping again.
They are. They've been bumping every day.
So, okay, 2 failures. Your successes, though? Those apple cinnamon muffins you made?
Oh, my God.
Those were really good.
In case this is, like, confusing that we've just hopped into this, I've gotten deep into cooking and baking.
Yeah. It's the thing that people did 2 days in that you're finally like, I guess this is where I'm at now.
Basically, yeah.
Would you say you're finally bored?
I don't know if like
would you say
bored.
You're bored in quarantine?
I don't know if bored's the right word, more than just like feeling stuck. Like I'm not really bored. Like I have so many projects that I constantly have in the back of my mind. Right. So it's like there are things that I'm very well aware I could do. It's just like trying to pace myself to not like burn out basically. And yeah, I've hit more the like mental point of just like, oh my God, like, are you joking? Like, another day inside, here we go. It's beautiful outside and I can't do shit. And I haven't been anywhere nice and I feel stuck as hell. And there's no air conditioning.
I get this feeling when I wake up and do the same thing that I've done the past 90 days. Mm-hmm. More than that at this point.
I was going to say, you mean like whole 2020? That too?
Yeah. And I kind of start to feel a little bad that I don't feel bored about anything yet.
I'm not like bored.
I'm still in it. I'm like, yeah, you know.
I don't know how to word it.
Honestly, my life hasn't. I'm not living my life any different than I would be, like currently anyway. Except for obviously, like being able to like go outside and like not having to worry about going to the beach and social distancing and like, stuff like that.
See, like that's what's been like, I feel like hard for me. Like I've had little to no nature in my summer, and that is so the opposite of my summers.
But I mean, like we're still getting out a little bit at least. But yeah, that would obviously be like the one thing. But I mean beyond that, you know.
Yeah, but that's like summer. That's the
no, I know.
summer.
But I'm saying for me personally, beyond that, my day is the exact same as it would be. It's like every day for me is a rainy day. So like I can't go outside.
Yeah.
And like that sucks. But it's like it's raining. So what else can I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. What other failures do you have that we can bring up? This has been a talking point for a while now. Go ahead, knock the water over. Fail something else. Come on now. Get it together. Be a little more professional. Okay? This is what's happening.
I feel like my stress is like through the roof right now.
Why?
I don't know.
So I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I feel like now that we're talking about your failures,
let's just open up the list.
Yeah, we have a note here. This one's gonna cut deep.
Oh, it is. It's so new. It's so fresh.
Shelby's a terrible plant mom. That is official because
they're all dead.
Your final plant has died. You have to say for yourself in the murder of your children.
I've officially killed off all of my children, and this is the first time in my life in probably 6 to 8 years I do not have a single plant to my name.
Thank God.
Why do you say that?
Here's the thing. You wanted to bring that elephant ear up, right?
Yeah, I would have died in a second.
Exactly.
Because our apartment isn't good for it.
Apartment.
It absolutely... I'm not saying I'm the best. I kept that thing alive all last summer. And it's in a place where it gets light. What would it get here? It would not get anything.
That's what I said.
Oh, you blamed it on the apartment?
No. Yes. I did. I was like, it's not going to... That's my phone. I'm angry. I said this isn't going to work. I blame it on the apartment, but let's be real.
You're blaming me?
No, I'm saying you should blame you.
Oh my God.
You're the one who wanted to bring it up here, though.
Did.
And I was like, it's not going to work.
Because I was so proud
and
of it.
You made me feel like a jackass about it.
Yeah.
And look at your fiddly fig now.
I know.
Look at it now.
Again,
Where is it?
I don't... It's dead. I don't think we had enough light.
Blaming the apartment.
I am. I'm really sad about it.
Have a good apartment for it. I don't think you're actually a terrible plant mom. I mean, I think you can be a little negligent at times, but I have been saying, I was like, as soon as you can get a plant as soon as you get a plant to live for 7-8 years, then we can talk about getting a dog. But until then...
Are you joking?
You're clearly not ready for it.
I had that succulent for like a year and a half.
Cool. Is that 7 to 8 years?
No.
What are you going to say when you go, yeah, we had that golden retriever for like a year and a half?
No. I feel like
God, Shelby, you're terrible.
I'm able to get plants to... I'm pretty good at like getting plants to survive for like a year and a half. And then it's like...
It's a plant.
And then it was hard because in college and stuff, we were like going back and forth. And so I decided between bringing it with me or risking it.
Somebody would take care of it.
Yeah, basically.
/ it would live long enough.
So like I've had plants make it through some shit.
Yeah, you have. All right, moving on.
You're sick of it.
Do you want to ask me what's going on with me?
Yeah, Spencer, what's happening with you? What are all your failures? Let's lay them out on the table.
I don't have any failures. Unless you want to bring one up. I don't think I have any. Oh, you know what? I did fail.
At?
Because you may
getting
notice
that elephant ear of me.
Yeah, you may notice that Shelby and I are talking about ourselves and not talking about any of you.
Oh, I failed there too.
Because we forgot to reach out and submit fun stories. So you have to hear about our boring lives.
Listen, we get it. We fail.
I succeeded.
In?
How does that sound? I succeeded. I beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I haven't been able to say I succeeded in years.
Get out.
I walked across that stage last year and I said another failure in the books.
That's about all that's happened in my life.
Yeah, you did beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I know we say it like every time, but like I know we like to chat here.
But yeah, twitch.tv / Basement Gamer GAMR.
Are you promoting? Are you self-promoting? But boy,
is this a no self-promotion zone?
No promo zone. If you think we like to chat here, boy oh boy, you should see us at twitch.tv /
We're going. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot has been going on. This episode we're going to be talking about a lot of shows and movies that we have watched. Go figure.
My chair.
Oh my god. I thought that was like a goat screaming or like a chicken.
That's whatever died outside of our apartment.
Oh my god, we're about to get into that. We're about to get into some of the weirdness going on in this apartment.
I'm waiting for that to somehow be a failure of mine. Like,
knock it off with the chair.
I'm not trying to. It's every time I move, it's got to squeak. I need some WD-40.
What? You need some duct tape? They're the same thing.
No, they're not.
They are.
What is the same thing?
WD-40 and duct tape.
How?
They both fix everything.
All right, I'll give you that one. I'd give you a handshake, but you're too far away. Nice to meet you.
Every dad ever, right?
Has those like, two things on hand?
Well, I mean, every like household.
Talk about another failure. We were looking for duct tape, and for the first time in my life, I don't have duct tape.
Duct tape because of our apartment. All right.
Are you blaming our apartment?
I am, actually. Our apartment's not great.
It's not.
We're going to get into that. But, yeah, no, every dad ever, it's like something starts squeaking, it's like, get the WD-40. And you just always have it. And it's like, where do you get this?
They get it at, like, at bulk suppliers.
Yeah, well, there's this place that only, like, dads ever speak of. Or I guess parents in general. I've never even been to this place. I've never even seen one. I don't even know if they exist. They're called like a Home Depot, and a Lose or a Lowis or
I think it's a Lowis.
A Lowis,
yeah.
And I just, apparently they're competitors or something.
I think all they have to do is go in and you get a special ID that's just like, I'm a dad, and they just get like lifetime guaranteed WD-40 and duct tape.
Do you think that's it?
I think that's it.
That's a scam? Are we gonna expose Home Depot and
Lowe's?
Lowis.
Yeah.
We're talking about Home Depot and Lowe's.
My dad calls it Home Cheapo. Like, as if their prices are that different. He's like, I want to go to Home Cheapo.
Who cares? What?
They're literally the same place.
So lame. Oh my god. I just know there's gonna be one person listening going, I don't know what the fuck these two are talking about.
Dude, they've hit that point 10 minutes ago.
All right, before we get into everything, I want to draw a comparison to Michelle Obama.
Oh, God, okay.
How are you and I
You're making me so nervous right now.
What do you and I have in common with Michelle Obama? That's what I meant to say.
We're both hoping.
We both have a podcast. That's right. Michelle Obama has her own podcast.
I was going to say we're both married to a president, but I don't know what you're...
You're hoping I'm going to be a president of something?
Of something,
I'm the president of
What's
BG
Happening
Limited
Pod.
And What's Happening Pod.
I did see that.
I got a notification from Spotify today, and I was like, "Can you please push What's Happening?" Like, come on.
Hello, there are bigger things. I'm joking.
Do you think she needs that?
What's it
She's
called?
She's got a big enough following. I think it's just called the Michelle Obama Podcast.
Yeah, that's fair.
And she just released her first episode, so just think. They're already pushing her first episode.
She didn't even hit episode 4 yet.
That's what I was going to say.
She's going to be huge.
She's going to be bigger than Barack. No, let's be real.
Barack.
Yeah, Obama.
Yeah.
Her husband?
Who?
He was the president.
Oh, shit.
Look it up.
No, I mean, it's weird, but, like, I think it's kind of cool.
It is weird. It's weird to think about. Like, I don't know. Like,
a first lady having a podcast.
Or I guess that is exactly it. Like, it's not weird that anybody would have a podcast.
No.
It's just weird, like, I don't know what I would have expected Michelle Obama, like, what's next for Michelle Obama? I think she has a couple, like, books, stuff like that. All that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's very, like, presidential, first lady-esque, right? Politics. I don't even know, like, what they talk about on the podcast and whatnot.
I'm guessing a whole bunch.
It did feel kind of weird. It was just, like, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, that would be, like, the next thing for somebody to do, a podcast. Of course, look at us. I mean...
We're obviously past first ladies, and we're looking for something else to do. No, obviously, I mean, Michelle Obama. I feel weird just saying Michelle. Michelle Obama.
First name basis.
Oh my god. Oh, I I feel like I don't like want us to sound like assholes. Like I literally am just like, yeah, go for it.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I absolutely don't. I'm not like one way or the other. I'm not saying
I don't
intrinsically
care.
Go support it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
No, I'm
don't
just. I'm sure
it.
it's interesting. I mean, obviously,
I honestly just wonder what the hell they talk about.
I'm sure a bunch of everything. She's been like very connected to social causes. Oh, maybe on episode 4 she'll bring up what's happening.
I know when they talk about what's happening, it's a lot more important than the weird smells in our apartment.
Shelby's failures.
Getting a new fan. They probably will talk about the coronavirus.
No, I think
movies and TV shows.
No, I think Michelle Obama also recently got the same fan we got and is going to totally talk about it in her next podcast. No, but I'm sure she has really cool guests, and I'm sure like you're going to...
That's what we need. We need guests.
We need...
to get Michelle Obama on this?
No. Just enough time for us. Are you kidding me? But yeah, I feel like it'd be cool. I feel like it'd be cool conversations on there, and...
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. I wish her the best.
Yeah. From one big podcast to another.
Spotify also pushed us on episode 1.
They definitely did that.
Spotify went, who are these people?
Buried us. Try and search what's happening on Spotify.
I haven't tried it.
I follow our podcast.
And
it doesn't come up.
I follow our podcast.
What? What? No, I follow her.
I clicked the follow button.
For me?
Well, yeah, we're in the same account.
Oh.
That's what I'm getting at. So as soon as you said I follow, I was like, bitch, I did that. And you're going, I follow.
This is so stupid. Oh my god. Alright, let's get into it.
I'm sweating.
How much time has passed by now?
Oh, it's already like 20 minutes in.
Are you serious?
Well, 17 something.
Okay. Alright.
Get it together.
So, our apartment, like I said, it's not great. The windows kind of don't open.
Here's bitch about.
There's no AC, so
No.
we have fans. We have a fan. Today we just got a second fan. Big day.
Big day. So now we don't have to carry the fan back and forth depending on what room we're sitting in.
Yeah. We got a new fan. It came with a cute little remote. Hopefully it does its job.
I'm sure it will.
Cool. Keeps us not hot.
Yeah.
But yeah. We've noticed a weird smell. I went out of the apartment. Shocking, I know. To, I think, take the trash down. And the hallway outside of our apartment, like in our building, smelled like death. It
smelled really nasty.
The best way to put it. And then I went into the trash room where you would expect, oh, this is clearly where the smell's coming from. Nay. It was not coming from in there. Which is extra concerning. So for a little bit, I was like, person above us died, but I don't think that happened.
They've been bumping music every day, so I hope not.
Or
no,
they did, and
no, that was a Bones.
Really
that was a Bones episode.
It up.
Oh, well, no, that wasn't a Bones episode.
But yeah. So we have a weird smell developing. We catch whiffs of it, and
only in one area of our apartment, though.
Well, now hang on a second. I've been catching whiffs of it sitting on the futon. I was playing MLB. It was getting real sweaty. I was like, maybe it's me. It's not. It was coming from over there.
Can we
Shelby came out.
I need to play this out for a second. I came out because it was just, I'm so used to like hearing you listening to something, and I like realized I was trying to sleep, but I like woke up a little bit and I realized I had heard silence for 10 minutes, and I was like, is he okay? Like there's not a sound in our apartment right now, which is very odd. And I come out and you like slow turn and like with fear in your eyes, you were like, I think the smell is me. And
No, do you ever get that realization? It's like the Jim Gaffigan skit where he's like saying like, you ever go to the gym and you see somebody who's like really fat and you're like, Don't bother trying. Then you realize you're looking in the mirror. It was like that moment of like realization where like I was sitting not in the area of where we were smelling it, and I was smelling it, and I was like, I think it's me. I was like dead set on. I was like, oh my god, like I'm the serial killer. Weird thing to say. But yeah, I was concerned.
Oh my god.
But you trampled those fears.
Oh yeah, because well, one, I've been smelling it the day prior, so I could have absolutely told you it wasn't you.
Which is weird because I have the heightened sense of smell here.
You have an esteemed sense of smell.
Dude, all my senses are.
Yeah, perfect. we can have a whole podcast on that sometime. Sorry, we'll have one podcast that's like all of Spencer's successes in life, and
maybe you can host that one.
And then the next, you want me to talk about? You want me to tell you all of your successes in life?
I'm saying maybe you can host it.
I don't think. I don't know if I don't. Yeah, I don't think it'll fall in the right week for me. But I was smelling the day prior in a very specific location, and I promise you, you were nowhere near. So I like could immediately tell it was something like. I was like concerned it was like food spoiling, but like we like don't let things go to that point. Like
not typically.
We don't like leave things out. Cheese, but like you'd smell that in the fridge, and the smell wasn't coming from the fridge. So it was just there's a nasty smell. It smells like a mix of an animal died with like spoiled food.
It smells a little like poo-poo.
It smells like someone like took a shit and left it sitting out in the sun or something. Like it does not smell good at all.
You brought up maybe something like just outside our apartment.
It kind of smells like something died, like right on the other side of the wall.
Of course.
Yeah. And
what do we do about it?
I don't know. And I like
I'm trying to peer out and I couldn't see. But I was also looking the wrong way. I was like, let me just pull the blinds the opposite direction of where I need to look.
Yeah, I don't know. And like you said the trash room smelled fine, which we are just above that, so it could have been that, but
and I haven't been in there since. So maybe the smell is down there now.
I don't know.
I think a pipe burst.
You think a sewage pipe burst?
I think there's leaky shit.
If there was a sewage pipe burst, I think we would know that already. There'd be some kind of reaction to our toilet, or someone would go to the trash room and then we'd be getting a text, no one use your toilet. Yeah, we'd be getting some kind of response. But I don't know. I'm honestly...
The toilets have failed.
Honestly. I'm a little more concerned. Like, what if there's... Just because it's an old building, like, please tell me there's not something, like, in the wall that died. Like, and I just have that concern because it's, like, happened in my house at, like, growing up. That, like, something, like, kind of died or, like, got stuck. Like, that happens. And we are in an old building, but we're also, like, really crammed in. So is there that much space? Like, I don't know how the building's built, but, like...
I think we're going to have to do a deep clean probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then if, like, the smell persists, then we can reach out. But I would hate to reach out and then have it actually be our fault.
I know. I am, like, a little concerned, but, like, the smell is so specific that there's no way food's causing it. Like, it literally smells like a living creature had to have caused that smell. Like, it's such a putrid smell.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll find out.
How are we doing on time?
24 minutes.
Cool. Perfect. Because I can bring up potentially one thing that could be causing the smell.
What do you think?
Is your obsession with collecting trash.
It is not that. I clean all of it.
You clean all your trash.
I clean all my trash.
That's...
I shouldn't say
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I have a dirty bin and I have a clean bin. And it sits in the dirty bin for a bit until I get the energy to clean it. And then it goes into the clean bin.
Today, I looked at you and said...
You are trash.
Yeah. I was like, you get in the dirty bin. I said, do you want to keep this
bubble wrap?
And I wasn't asking, and you might be saying like, oh, I want to keep it for like shipping things.
Yes, that is why I kept that.
Yeah. But that's not why I was asking.
Oh, you were being an asshole.
I was asking because I was like, of course you would want to keep this for something. Like, whatever. I art project or this and that.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah. Obviously, it makes sense that you would want to keep it for like delivery and stuff because obviously you should be reusing stuff. Hey, I'm here for it. You're being a little weird about some things, but that's fine. We'll allow it.
Literally, if my mom were to ever hear this, she'd be like laughing and screaming at the same time because I, growing up, was notorious for keeping trash.
Did you ever have that smell in your room?
No, because I would clean it. I clean my trash, my dude.
What does that mean?
That means you like wash it all down so it doesn't have a smell and you don't leave food residue or anything on anything, and that's why it's clean. You don't get bugs and all that shit.
Bugs
talking about bug snacks, but I used to have bins of stuff in my bedroom that were categorized trash piles, and it would be for whatever purpose I felt necessary, whether I had guilt of throwing it away and wanted to find a way to reuse it, whether I had intentions of an art project or something of the sort. Basically fell into those main two categories. Generally it's art related, or I had intentions of like reusing it for something. And I've kind of calmed that need down, and now, because I used to keep like everything, like, I mean, I used to keep like candy wrappers and shit and like chocolate wrappers, which sometimes I still feel the urge to do, but I've stopped doing that for the most part. Now it's more just like containers and like recyclables and stuff like that I'm like motivated to find a way to reuse, or just like be more aware of like how to dispose of it and whatnot. So
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm here for it.
I have a lot of intentions. I mean, I like
sometimes they're good intentions.
Sometimes. Not always. But I don't know. I like to reuse things for art purposes, but also I do just want to like
leave less of a footprint.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very
Hashtag deep.
Hashtag deep, which I have something that connects to that.
Oh, here we go. Does it have anything to do with the fucking stars?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want to bring that up because I don't want to get you heated on the podcast. Don't want to get in astrology yet. Don't worry.
We really had nothing to talk about when that is the thing we talk about. Just saying.
Don't insult me like that. We're currently talking about trash and bad smells in our apartment. And you think astrology is below that? Rude. So this goes a bit into our show watching. And I came with a surprise. I wrote this out a bit ago. And one of the shows we watched recently... Sorry, were you ready to move on from the trash? Or did you want me to...
Yeah, I feel like there was...
It can all mesh into like... I'm sorry, Mr. Host or Sir Host. Is it okay if we talk about...
If you have a segue...
This is my segue.
What episode is this?
5,
is it
6.
5?
It's 5 or 6. I think it's 6.
I think it's 6. Go ahead.
Did you say 5 at the beginning?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, good. So we recently watched... What's it called?
Down to Earth?
Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
Okay, first off, we have watched so many things.
We've watched a lot of things.
Dangerous Game saying, what was it called?
Well, you knew. It was connected to trash. I'm sorry, we could have gone there. That's true. We could have gone the other route, but... You want to talk about trash? No, well, so...
Have you seen The Last Dance?
We watched Down to Earth with Zac Efron. I couldn't shut up about it for like 4 days, and Spencer just rolled his eyes. I know you couldn't see it, but he just rolled his eyes because I couldn't shut up about it, and I love shit like that. I didn't even realize Zac Efron was a part of it. I was just like, there's this new nature documentary
called Down to Earth
called Down
with
to
Zac
Earth.
Efron?
I didn't even say that. I was like,
That's
Down to
what
Earth.
It's called.
I didn't see. It's a subtitle. It's
no, it is not.
It is in the Netflix thing.
Uh-huh.
All I saw was
real
Down
tiny.
to Earth.
It's not in your face at all.
All I saw was Down to Earth.
And the first thing isn't Zac Efron's beautiful, beautiful face going...
Oh, there's a bunch of babes.
Guys, what's going on? There's girls. Oh, some of them are long-haired guys.
Oh, shit. No, so we watched that, and I would recommend it because it's full of information we should be aware of. I'm not saying any of it is like new, amazing information if you watch nature documentaries, but I do think it's a good watch, and it's kind of fun because not the fact that it is Zac Efron, but like the fact that it's like someone we all know and someone who's like a little more in our generation. I think it's like interesting, and there's much more like chilled aspect to this that like you can obviously a lot of production went into it, but like they were kind of like goofing off about doing it. Not that they didn't take it seriously. Like it's kind of weird. Like, it's not as like we gotta look like completely clean doing this. Like there was a lot of just him like reacting to things happening and like whatnot. If that makes sense for like a response to it. But I thought it was interesting, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who watches nature content or wants to like learn anything about that. So, one, what do you think that show was rated on Rotten Tomatoes?
Can I give like a 5% range?
That's
like
fine. That's
I
fine.
would say somewhere in like 63 to 68%.
It literally is 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. shit. Did you look that up? Yeah, it is actually 63%, which I would have assumed it to be like more in like low 70s, but like I guess I really can't complain about.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway,
real quick, from a show standpoint, not great. From an information standpoint, pretty good.
Yeah.
So a 63, I think, is fair. Like
I get that.
some of like the writing that they did to do like the narration. Basically, the way the show is like they go to these places, they do these things, they learn the stuff, and they react in real time. But then they also have Zac Efron being a doof in a recording studio, reading lines for what they think is a funny bit, and sometimes kind of works, sometimes it's really stupid, forced, and completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
So a 63, yeah, still something people should watch, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, sorry.
But no, you're good. Thank you. That was kind of what I was trying to say, in less analytical sense, in my roundabout way of describing. But this kind of connects to trash, connects to watching that, but this was inspired by us watching it. Obviously, the show commentates on like consumerism and all the different practices we have in our day-to-day lives, and America is at the peak for trying to be not changing in their ways, and we're very like just stuck in like I'd say patterns of.
I got a really good thing to go off of for that.
Oh no. But anyway, so I was trying to like research different I researched a lot into low waste, zero waste living, because that's kind of like a lot of what the average person can do, like individual human, in their day to day. Obviously, there's only so much you can do about like where you live and all those options, but in terms of consumerism, that's like probably the biggest thing that a person can change. Mm-hmm. And so I researched some stuff, and we can talk about what we want to, what we don't. But I just wanted to put this out there and be like, would you be interested? Like, I'm not saying like we have to do these things, but I researched them and they're things people do, and it's like, would you take a shot of this? Would you not? Would you be like, I don't know,
would I take a shot of something?
Get the fireball. But so these are the things that are like definitely popular. Some are a little weird, and yeah. So would you, instead of like, so we really like using milk a lot. We don't consume milk. We love like cereal and shit like that, right? Like we might have a milk problem.
Uh-huh.
Would you be interested in consuming, or even going a step further and DIYing your own nut milk?
No. Get the fuck out of here.
Why?
No.
This is strictly for having a conversation. This is not
and this is me strictly shutting this down before you get any freaking ideas that we are actually going to try this. Absolutely not to the milk.
You won't even try nut milk?
Listen, if somebody was like, hey, you pay, like what, we pay $3.50 a gallon for milk, something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Wherever you live, it probably differs, but generally I would say you're probably spending anywhere from
$3 to $5 probably.
I was going to say $2 to $6, just to like make it like even broader. If somebody said, you have to pay $12 for a gallon of milk, cow's milk, and the entire process that goes into it is like extra clean, and like puts such a like small footprint that because of that you have to pay more for it, I would absolutely do that over replacement milk, essentially. Nut milk, even just buying nut milk. I have never had almond milk, so technically maybe, but I would sooner do that though than to try and create my own.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm all for like making your own food and like growing your own food and stuff like that, but like
that's too far.
I'm not juicing a fucking nut.
Where is the teat on the nut? But yeah, okay.
So boom, shut down.
Shut down. Not happening.
You're trying to get me, the manager of what's happening, to invest in your ideas.
Yeah.
And so far you're 0 for 1, and I might not have you back on next episode.
Oh no,
the next episode I host.
Oh no, my contract's up. Would you be okay or open to thrifting all clothing, most likely besides like underwear? Some people do thrift underwear, but that's kind of like the line where some people
does
will.
underwear include like socks?
Yeah.
Because those are like the two things.
I mean, like socks, underwear,
And then like accessories.
and like bras for like women.
Right. Well, that's underwear, I would consider.
Right. That's what that's what I was including in underwear.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha.
Undergarments, if you will.
Like, what about like accessories, like hats?
You're just saying there'd be some things you're like not cool with thrifting.
As far as like shirts and...
How do you feel about thrifting shoes? Some people are worried about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't really do that either. Fun story. I used to work at Dick's in the footwear section, and a man asked me to throw his shoes away for him, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And he left. And I said, okay. And then when my manager came down, I was like, what happened? I was like, I refused to throw away his shoes. I was like, I don't know what else you would have wanted me to do. He was like, well, you could have brought the trash can out here. And I was like, no.
Ain't touching your shoes.
I didn't work on a commission. Fuck you if you think I'm going to go the extra mile and throw away. Dude, this dude's shoes, if they were clean and like if they were still like well put together, and I was like, these are shoes that I would still be wearing, given their condition, maybe. Fucking maybe. People's feet are disgusting. No way. So I probably wouldn't thrift shoes either. But as far as shirts, pants, that kind of stuff, yeah, I really wouldn't have an issue with that. I really don't buy clothing that often, though.
Right.
So when I do, I really don't have an issue with, like, maybe spending, like, the little bit extra to get, like, you know, something, like, specifically that I want. But, I mean, yeah, if I found it in a thrift store, I wouldn't see why not.
How do you feel?
Most of my closet is, like, 5 years old.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Older.
I know. Literally most of it you were in, like, high school and whatnot.
All right, now. I'm 37. I can still wear mine.
How do you feel about bringing your own utensils somewhere or slash just generally traveling with some on you to avoid plastic cutlery? People do like sell, like, people obviously they've turned being low waste into a consumerist market, so you can literally buy to go travel utensils, or you could literally just throw ones that you like own into a bag and go. I mean, obviously, like, I know you don't really travel with much on you. I mean, I travel with like my little straw everywhere.
I don't really think I go to too many places that have
they're like plastic.
Yeah, like plastic stuff. And like that being said, like when we get the plastic stuff, I wish we could just like say no, we don't want it.
Yeah, I think I almost want to try, like, when we get takeout and it's like, do you want to leave a note? I might literally start being like, stop giving us because we now just have a box of like leftover shit, which is really annoying.
But yeah, that one would be like a maybe. Like if I like specifically know that I'm going to be going somewhere, then like yeah, I wouldn't really mind. But I also wouldn't want to just have a fork, knife, and spoon on me.
Really? Just get a spork.
In case I'm about to dig into a steak, but all they give me is a plastic utensils.
Yeah.
On a similar note to that, I would say that people should absolutely start taking their own to-go containers out of places.
Yeah, that's really big,
like, people
actually.
Really need to get into doing that instead of getting
the styrofoam. I like cringe when I see styrofoam anymore. Like the fact that we.
It's in our fridge right now.
I know it really hurts. I like hate it so much, and I hate it because, obviously when we don't get takeout that often, but when we do pretty big because we like try to get extra food out of it. And when we go to our favorite burger joint, we walk out of there with sometimes like 5 containers.
Oh, yes.
That like hurt my soul. The last time we did it, it like upset me, and I was like, I don't even know currently how preventable that is with COVID. Like if we were in normal times, like not a pandemic, you might be able to work something out. I doubt anyone's going to do anything right now, which like understandable. Yeah. There's like certain like you want to take health obviously and hugely into effect, but no, I know. The
hardest part is with like something like that, like it has to be something that's just going to end up getting thrown away basically, because
you can't do anything with styrofoam.
If it's reusable, if it's a reusable thing, like so our favorite burger place, for example, let's say they run like a thing where it's like, you know, if you pay an extra $20 or something like that. You get a plastic container.
That
Similar
can
to like
be.
what RMU had.
Yeah, you could like rent essentially.
Yeah, you wouldn't be renting
to-go
it,
container.
Like, you'd have it would be like $20, right, up front. And then you would have to take it though beforehand, and then you'd have to wait the entire time for your order and stuff, which like
I don't really
minor
care.
inconvenience for some, but it could be a major inconvenience for others. I don't know. You have to take that into account. But like places could start to do that and say like, yeah, and then if you bring it in, it's like $1 off your order every single time. After 20 times of going there, you make back the money. So it's like incentive on your part. It helps the business too, because it's like chances are they're going to come back here to hopefully try and break even on this thing. They could start to implement things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know like food codes and whatnot, so I'm sure there's so many hoops to jump through. But I know.
But if it's your own thing and you're washing it and then taking it back to get the food put in.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah. That would be great. I remember. I think it was when my mom and I were in Germany. We went to like a little festival this town was running, and everything there, all the food was on real plates and real glassware. Like there was nothing throwable out there. Maybe utensils was like the only thing. And you like gave them like €1 or something for like essentially $1 to like rent their plate. And if you gave it back, and each thing had their own color coded plate, and if you brought it back, you like got your $1 or whatever back. So it was like everything there was like if you run away with the plate or dispose of it, you lost like $1, which you could also see that as like some people are still gonna do it. But like, yeah, they had a whole washing setup. Like you just brought it to the back and they washed it and like reused it. And it's just like, why is that not like a system? Like, let's be real. You can go to which again, I don't know food codes, but you could literally go to a thrift store and get like a whole freaking stack of plates for like not a lot and like use that for something. But yeah, no, I really wish, I know that's a big thing to bring to-go containers, which again, if we weren't in a pandemic would probably be pretty simple, obviously. I know now it's like a different story, but yeah, my heart like breaks every time I see like styrofoam, because it's not even a recyclable material. You literally have to throw it away, which is really upsetting. Okay, sorry, I'll only do like one or two more, but how do you feel about a bidet, or if you're not into a bidet, purchasing recycled toilet paper is now a thing?
No to recycled toilet paper. Yeah. Absolutely not. A bidet, doesn't that waste water technically, or no?
I don't know if it's considered a water waste. I think it comes down to I would
absolutely get a bidet.
I think it comes down to like I think there are certain systems that are able to like kind of channel the water and use it for like certain purposes or whatever. I don't know specifics, but I know a lot of people are saying like go bidet, just because like, I mean, think of like
the little bit of water that you use is a lot better than using a half a roll of toilet paper, because people are monsters.
Yeah, basically. Just the production that goes into making toilet paper for it to just like have to be traveled all over the place. And
yeah, I'm all about getting a bidet. Are you kidding me? My butthole? I need that thing to be squeaky clean. It's giving off this weird smell. It's causing the apartment to smell.
And last one, how do you feel about reusing like cloth, or essentially getting a handkerchief instead of the beloved
tissue? That's disgusting. I cannot stand when people reusable cloth, maybe, but like I can't stand when people have a handkerchief. I watch them blow their freaking nose in the middle of like flu season, and then they just like shove it back into their like breast pocket, or they just like shove it into their pant pocket. And then 5 minutes later they're like blowing their nose into it. That's disgusting. It is so disgusting. Like, don't get me wrong, it's bad to waste all the tissues and stuff, but I know that I personally get the most out of my tissues. I make sure I use Puffs Plus with lotion, blow my nose, fold, blow my nose, fold, blow my nose, fold. Depending on how my nose is feeling, probably can get one more blow in there. If not,
give it a
good wipe. Make sure it's all clean, throw it away. If I move on to another tissue, I'll blow my nose, I will fold it. If I'm in the clear, I set the tissue down. I don't throw it away, which is gross. But how's that any different than what monsters do when they blow their nose into a napkin and then shove it into their pocket.
I kind of see what you're saying.
And
I see
pull
what
it
you're saying.
back out,
germ-wise,
blow their nose into it again, and then shake your hand. It's gross.
I see what you're saying. Not team handkerchief.
Not team handkerchief. It's so gross. Saws.
No,
sorry, Earth.
That was all. I did have a few other, but they're really not that exciting. So, but
well, I feel like that segues kind of well into another thing before we get back into TVs and everything. I wanted to provide a quick little TV shows, and movies and everything, media.
Yeah.
I want to provide a little bit of an update on good old COVID.
Yeah.
COVID-19. You know the U.S. is up to 150,000 deaths?
I did not know that, but I'm not also blown away. I've had to stop looking at the numbers.
It's allegedly 150,000. I have to say that. Because we might have Republicans listening to this podcast. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke in reference to The Last Dance, which we can get into then. No, but like some people think...
obviously, everyone has opinions about the numbers.
Well, obviously, everybody has opinions about the virus itself. And people should understand the difference between opinion and fact, first off. I will be the first to admit that I did not take the coronavirus serious
in the beginning
when it first started happening. Mostly, I think, because I didn't want it to be a serious thing.
Well, right. No one wanted a global pandemic to be real.
So I really didn't think it was going to be this bad. Shame on me.
Yep.
Should have taken it a lot more serious a lot sooner. But no, obviously some people think that some of the numbers are potentially faked. Regardless, 150,000 people are dead.
Yeah.
In the midst of this.
I mean,
so whether or not it's COVID or it's, cancer or it's whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I get that people die.
Yeah.
But 150,000 people is a big number.
Yeah.
And people will also say, well, that's only blah, blah, blah of our blah, blah,
blah.
And what you're saying about our blah, blah, blah is fine. But, 150,000 people is a lot.
Yeah.
It's really fucked. But yeah, so we're apparently looking, whatever you look at, looks like we're headed for probably a resurgence in it. I don't know how you can have a resurgence when there hasn't been a lull,
down,
but
yeah.
I think what that means is, when you're sitting at 10 and it jumps to 20 and you manage to get back to 18, which isn't below 10, and then from 18 you go to 36, that is a resurgence, I guess.
Yeah.
So we've seen very little in, I think, actually making this better. Some things will try and tell you that things are better. We've got sports back. Everybody thinks that means that there's no longer a pandemic. Specifically, Miami Marlins players who went to a strip club in Atlanta, Georgia, where, guess what?
What?
Things not so good.
Really?
In Georgia. Georgia is one of the
hotbeds?
Worst places, I think. As far as like number of cases, I guess would be the statistic there. I think a strip club is probably just about the last place.
Yeah. You can't even. So many states don't even have clubs open yet.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
I think
the clubs are the last place to open.
I told you with the NBA they have like a bubble.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to leave the bubble. It's in Florida, so you really shouldn't leave the bubble. They also had a player go to a gentleman's club. Apparently, it's just when you live that life, when you're a professional athlete, gotta go to the strip clubs.
Yeah. Also
kind
speaking,
of unbelievable.
Yes, absolutely. Also, the fact that that's a priority in the middle of
that's
a pandemic, when there was especially sports related. I mean, that applies to so many things, but especially when sports related, so much work went into trying to pull a season together, so that people could have jobs, so that all the people who bitch about not being able to see their stupid sports can stop bitching, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, it's just putting money into the owners' pockets, and that's what they want. But so much effort went into organizing this and trying to be, for hopefully as safe as possible, a lot of people, and to just like honestly be that not caring Like, people made decisions to avoid their families for months so they could play a season. People made decisions to not play because they didn't want to put themselves and their families at risk. Like, people made really serious decisions, and to value, quite frankly, ridiculous. Like, I'm not saying things don't happen that you, like, feel the need to attend to, but I would say a strip club does not fall on that list.
Doesn't seem like a priority, no.
Also, just really sad news. What I believe was officially named the youngest victim of coronavirus, a 9-year-old girl in Florida, I believe.
So does that not include, like, any infants that have had
I guess
complications?
Not. I don't know. I really don't know fully, obviously. That's just what I've seen. It's still
really
heartbreaking.
Like, it's still sad that, like, that this is still going on, and, like...
Yeah. And we're taking it less and less seriously, it feels like, by the day.
You know, from whatever it is. But I think everybody just needs to kind of get smart, and, you know, the last thing I'll say about it before we get, like, you know, too deep into it and get, like, depressing with it, the one thing I'll say is people are saying that this is potentially being used for
the campaign.
Population control. Like, they're trying to see if they can manipulate the entire population. This isn't just happening in America where we have a fucked up system. This is happening everywhere. Hong Kong is having issues again. Like, we thought everything was fine over in China.
Do we forget what happened in Italy? Like, literally, Italy had to, like, shut down.
Yes. All I'm going to say is, if you think that you're entitled to your opinion, and the last thing I will say is, if this is actually the case, I do not fucking care. I am not willing to take that fucking risk. I'm going to wear a mask. And if they tell me to stay inside so I don't die of a virus while 150,000 other people have been reported to have died from, I think I'm just going to take my chances that they're telling me the truth. In this one instance. I'm all for challenging, like, whatever. Like, you know, you gotta...
Ask questions, for sure.
You have to be diligent and stuff. But it, like, comes to a point, and it's just... At what point, when, like, literally lives are on the line, is it worth saying, no, I think you're lying, and I'm gonna cough on people? It's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
It's also just at the inconvenience of having a cloth on your face. You're still able to live your life for, like, the most part. They're just asking you to stay safe.
And the other thing is, if somebody is wearing a mask and you're a dickhead and you're deciding not to, do not berate that person for doing said thing.
Yeah.
You're literally proving that you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that we're all sheeple and we're just following along and all that stuff, fine. But also, shut the fuck up. How about that? Yeah. Literally leave. If it bothers you that much, fucking leave.
They can't. Every other country's
not letting us. Everybody else says that. Everybody says, oh, you don't... Because everybody who obviously is thinking that this has been handled really bad, I said I wasn't going to get into it, I'm getting into it. Everybody who says that, you know, how we've handled Corona has been bad and poorly done, and, like, we could have done so much more as a country, as the world. Mm-hmm. All across the board, everybody could have done better, for sure. No ifs, ands, or buts. And the people who disagree with that and think that we have done a perfect job, 150,000 dead, who think we have done a perfect job, will say, if you don't like it here, then leave. No. If we're being told to wear a mask and you don't like it here, leave.
Yeah.
What? So we watched a lot of... How are we doing on time? We doing good?
We're getting to the end, but we can zip through our shows and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, real quick. So we ripped through a couple of shows. Thankfully, we have the opportunity to kind of have stuff on in the background while we're doing work and stuff like that. You know, consider ourselves very lucky to be able to consume this wonderful media.
The amount of content that we do.
At such a exceedingly high rate. So you mentioned already Down to Earth, so we won't talk about that more. We watched 2 shows. We watched When They See Us and Waco. Mm-hmm. We watched those extremely fast. Mm-hmm. Like, When They See Us took us 2 days.
Yeah.
And Waco took us 1.
Yeah.
And Down to Earth took us 1.
Yeah.
Because that was fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Last Dance took us like 3
a
or
week.
4 because
yeah.
Things started to get busy and whatnot. But we also watched the Bulls Dynasty documentary called The Last Dance that everybody was freaking out weeks and weeks ago when they released it on ESPN. It came to Netflix if you didn't know. Apparently Netflix worked with ESPN on it. I didn't know that prior. Maybe that was already known. But yeah. So, all 3 of the things that we watched, all 4 of the shows that we watched were like very real. You know? When They See Us and Waco were reenactments of events. They were portrayed on screen. When They See Us is about the Exonerated 5, as they're now called. At the time, it was...
The Central Park
5. Which was this case in New York where a female jogger was beaten and raped within an inch of her life. Fucking disgusting. Yeah. Absolutely terrible. On the same day, a bunch of youth from like the Harlem area were kind of running amok and just being kids, you know, like they seemed to have been just running around and just hanging out. I think it was Easter break, they said, so I'm sure everybody was excited to not have to go to school the next day. And so everybody was out and about and in the park and stuff, because they were black and potentially making a little too much noise. The police showed up. As many as they were able to catch were then taken down to a station, and
shit got bad from there, basically.
Somebody who was working on the case realized, oh, these are clearly our suspects, and they did their best, which wasn't very good,
to build a case to make them guilty.
On them, making them guilty.
Yeah.
They were found guilty. It's such a hard watch because you want to think the acting's bad, but it's not. They're actually acting really well because that's probably how these people were. And it's freaking disgusting. I've said the F word enough, I think, so I'm going to dial it back a little bit. It is really disgusting to see. And you just like know the entire time that this happened and, just terrible. And, the entire time you're thinking like, oh, there's got to be something, right? That like somebody's got to see something. Nope. They go, because 4 of them were minors. Mm-hmm. They were basically just put in
juvenile detention centers
for 5 years before transitioning to an actual jail. Mm-hmm. But the other one, who was 16, was immediately put in Rikers.
Yeah,
which is like, if you don't know, it's like a pretty high security and like bad people go there. Yeah, typically. Mm-hmm. Watch Spider-Man, and you would know Rikers Island, right?
And they were in prison for up to 14 years, I believe. So literally from 16 to you are now a full-fledged adult, obviously. And
you were a kid at the time, so you have no idea how society works when you're a kid.
Yep. And then
you get thrown into society, expected to be a contributing member of society, and have no idea how society works.
Oh my god, it's absolutely devastating, and it was very difficult to watch. It was very frustrating to watch, and this and Waco, both very difficult because the whole time they're real events. You, for the most part, most likely know what happened. Yep. It's just really hard to watch it, and it's it's something that I think literally everyone needs to watch it.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to watch both and just realize that, like, and Waco's a different story. We can get into that. But both scenarios ended up in a way that they didn't need to end up.
Oh my God, absolutely not. It was just someone's, like, ego trip and beliefs, if you want to even fucking wrong ass way of thinking.
In the case of
yes.
when they see us.
Yeah, horrible beliefs of other people just lead them to make really obviously irresponsible, just wrong decisions, and they're in people of power, so they can do it and they can build it how they need people to see it. And yeah, it's really heartbreaking. And it's also, I mean, we also then at the end, they like wrap it up with like, because Oprah helped produce it, and they talk to everyone, and just like getting to see the actors and like how they had to like interact with this and actually interact with the 5 men who were like the group, and then the men talking, and like the whole thing. It was just obviously so much emotion, and right, like obviously. And it's crazy that still to this day they said that at least the detective, though I don't know what her position was, like still stands by
that it was
what she did.
That there was just a 6th. The person who ended up being the one found guilty was actually just the 6th. And possibly
the other, like the lead interrogator still believes it. Like
it's
these
disgusting.
people still today, like the people who did this are still here, and they still are saying that like what they drew the case to look like happened, they're saying it happened.
Yeah.
And that's so terrible. Like I don't even know what other words to say.
Yeah, like the good news, the happy ending to it is that they end up being found not guilty. But it took so much away. Childhood was taken away from them.
Oh my god, yeah.
Their school and growing up was taken away from them, and it shouldn't have been.
No.
I'm all for if you deserve it to be taken away from you.
Yeah.
If you actually did something, sure. They didn't. That's so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so terrible. And, no matter what, even if they were exonerated, they still lost that.
I was gonna say, no money or anything makes up for any of that.
I think they said they never apologized.
Never got anything. They basically got their money and they left.
People, the people who, the 5 men who were exonerated said that, people see that they got money for it, right? Mm-hmm. And think like,
oh, you're good.
But they were like, that money gets split between the 5 of us, and
attorney
all
fees.
5 of us had legal fees.
Yeah.
Some of their family was going through, they were from low income areas.
Yeah.
They literally picked.
Yeah.
They just went for, stereotype and all that other stuff.
Very quote unquote easy to
target.
Yeah.
Because you knew that how much of a fucking they put up. Whatever. We got our men. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that you would. What's really disgusting about it to me is that you would want to just plan it on somebody and not actually figure out who did the thing.
And make it, and of course you're, at least in the film, guilt tripping people by being like, don't you want to bring justice to this woman? But you're doing the exact opposite. You're
not bringing justice to her.
No.
Because you're not finding the right person.
No.
And you know you're not finding the right person. It's disgusting, but you should absolutely watch it.
Yes.
Because it should hopefully help you check yourself and check other people around you for certain things like this. Moving on to Waco. Waco is basically like the same premise in the fact that, like I said earlier, it could have been avoided. Now, in the case of Waco, the group...
More ego-tripping people in power.
Well, yeah, for sure. The group called Davidians or something like that.
Right. I think
you're right. They were tampering with guns. So they were doing an illegal act.
Yes.
And the FBI, I
believe so,
did a raid on the building, and they ended up getting to a peace fire, all this other stuff, but everybody was refusing to come out, and most people on the other side wanted things to stay, peaceful and not have unnecessary deaths. Again, unnecessary. And it resulted in the law enforcement using tear gas catching on fire, burning down the entire building. It was like 70-some people ended up dying. I
want to say. A third of them being children. Roughly.
Yeah.
Only what, like 2 or 3 people got out?
Yep. And the worst part about it is that End of the show, they talk about all these other cases where tear gas was deployed and a fire ended up breaking out and causing death. And we talked about it, and it was like, this was just so avoidable. Take away the fact that these people, were doing something wrong. That's fine. I'm all for bringing justice to people if they're doing something wrong. I'm not against that. But what I am against is using an unnecessary tactic and causing unnecessary people to be harmed and killed. Like, it's even one thing to say just the one person who was like leading it all dies.
Yeah.
Even that would have been undeserved, I think.
Yeah.
They said that what he was doing was illegal. However, if he had a $20 permit or something like that, right? Didn't they say that like it would have been fine?
There was something weird.
I think it was the part that I think the other fact is that then he was going out and selling these.
Yeah.
And they were illegally tampered with. Mm-hmm. That doesn't help. But regardless, it's just absolutely insane. And it's just like you said, it's just an ego trip on the law enforcement side.
Yeah.
And it's I'm the prodigal son on the religious side, and people are just so unwilling to just say, okay, like, let's work this out. Instead we have to get violent. And they said during the end, when they are rolling up with tanks and pushing walls down and spraying the tear gas, they said that this is not an assault. They're yelling out on the loudspeaker, this is not an assault, just come out, right? Yeah. But you're pushing down walls not knowing, and this isn't a very sturdy site, not knowing who's on what side on the other side of that wall or whatever. You're just pushing them down, and somebody's literally crushed during that. And then everybody, the women and children, are hiding in a vault, and the tear gas isn't getting into the vault. So it's called a vault, and they know it's called a vault. They reference it as the vault. This is on the show at this point.
Right.
We don't actually know, how the events went down. But let's just say, from the show's standpoint, they literally go, oh, they're hiding in the vault. We can see them in the vault. Okay, go in and get them. No, instead, they go around back, they pop open a little bit of the wall, and then they start putting tear gas in there. Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but generally speaking, vaults, and if I know it's a vault, I'm going to assume there are no windows, and there's only one way out. And sometimes you can't get out
from the inside. I'd say most times, most likely.
And again, that's from the show standpoint.
Right.
Whether they knew that was a vault or not in real life, fine. But knowing in the show and that they say they're in the vault, that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
And so shitty. And such dumb thinking. And the guy who ordered it is then running and trying to pull somebody out, and he's freaking out because this woman dies right in front of him. And it's like, yeah, dumbass, you could have avoided that. The worst part about it, though, is them yelling. And again, we don't know if these are the right events. Like, we don't know if they were yelling, this is not an assault. But from the show standpoint, they're saying this isn't an assault. As they push down walls, that seems like an assault to me. I don't know. No?
It's definitely...
And you're saying, like, this is not an assault, and people start dying. They blamed it. They said it was a mass suicide. Pretty weird to say. And they've maintained that.
Yeah, heavily maintained that.
And it's frustrating, again, because, I think almost in any scenario, unless somebody has killed others, killing somebody, isn't generally necessary.
Yeah.
If they're intending to kill, or like I said, have already killed somebody, then, things get a little different. But in this scenario, they hadn't, this was another case of law enforcement lying and, getting access to things that, shouldn't have been used in the first place.
I mean, the fact that even tear gas was used in general.
It's a war crime to use tear gas.
And yet we're using it
It was
now.
The Geneva Convention banned the use of tear gas. And to this day, during the riots that are going across, during the protests, obviously some have turned into riots. How they got there, we won't say.
Yeah.
Was it caused by the police? Was it caused by people intending to cause it? Was it just the protesters got fed up and started rioting?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say one or the other. But we have seen just peaceful protests.
Plenty. A lot. Like lots of them.
And we've seen tear gas used.
Very peaceful protests.
Which is, I mean, that's going to cause, people to lash out. And, that's going to cause something that is peaceful to turn violent.
Right.
Even if you have a riot, if it's a war crime,
why are you using it
on your own citizens?
Yeah.
And it was back with Waco. It was a war crime. It was against the law. They mentioned it, and they used it. And again, it was apparently flammable. I didn't know that about tear gas, but apparently it's flammable. The U.S. side, the America country, said we didn't light the fire. We didn't start the fire. They started playing Billy Joel. The few people who have gotten out said that they didn't start the fire.
Right.
In the show, they showed a lamp got knocked over, like a flame.
Yeah.
A gas lamp.
Like an oil lamp.
Yeah. Got knocked over and caught on fire. Could have been something as stupid as that. Could have been either side, technically. Could have been just a freak accident. But it happened. But apparently, when flashbangs were used, those apparently can cause sparks and could have also fueled it. It's just so shitty. You watch both of those when they see us in Waco, and you see both are just easily avoidable situations. 1, 5 people don't have to go to jail.
Yep.
And the other 70 some people don't have to end up dead.
Yep.
Again, whether they were doing something illegal or not, that's besides the point. 70 extra people did not deserve to die. Okay. I know we're running really long. I think we'll save The Last Dance, and we can talk about that next time. The last thing I do want to touch on isn't even Bug Snacks. We're not going to do it. I know. I said as long as I host, we'll talk about Bug Snacks. We are going to talk about the fact that Shelby and I have watched the worst movie ever.
I'm hardcore trying to think if there's anything worse, and there probably is.
There definitely is.
But for a movie made in 2020, released in 2020, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's on my all-time worst list. We are talking about the newly released
Artemis Fowl. That got a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes. Last night before we went to watch it, I went, how long is this movie? And I searched it, and I saw the reviews. And the worst part about the reviews is not the 9% on Rotten Tomatoes like you might think. It's that 45% of Google users enjoyed this movie. Think of every single bad Adam Sandler movie that you can. I'm willing to bet 70% or more of Google users enjoyed the film. And if the mass audience, take away the critics, because sometimes I think Rotten Tomatoes is a crock of shit, they gave one of the Harry Potter movies 100% or something.
Okay.
Shut up. No. So whatever, right? When not even half of the viewing audience is I'm going to go to Google and say this was a good movie. That's bad.
Yeah.
That is so bad.
I was going through reviews because I was going to do like a fun little Rotten Tomatoes comparison, which we still can quickly. But 2 of the reviews were literally titled, Disney managed to make something worse than Wrinkle in Time. Which I didn't see the movie. I just laughed at that because I didn't hear great things about the movie. Yep. The books are pretty good though. And it also says, by far the worst Spy Kids movie. Which now I think of like every time he pops on the sunglasses, I'm just like, oh my god.
The acting was terrible.
So uncomfortable.
It was so bad. They got Colin Farrell, and I was like, nice. And then he was in it for 10 minutes. Josh Gad's character was terrible.
It was really uncomfortable.
It was not good. He wasn't like, I'm Josh Gad, or however he talks. He was like, oh, I talk with a gruff voice.
He had the voice of, what's his name from The Hobbit? He had the voice of Oakenshield. I literally kept hearing, first off, what did they say? Gondor or Gundabat? They said one of those words, and I was like, is this like Lord of the Rings? And then in Josh Gad's voice, I was like, that's literally Thorin Oakenshield's voice. Like, but then it would sometimes fluctuate back into Josh Gad voice.
No, it was never Josh Gad.
No, it was just like, no, like it would be gruff, but then for a minute he would like pop out of it, and then he would go back to being gruff.
It was never just
but it wasn't. What I'm saying, it was good. Yeah. I'm saying like it was weird. It felt like you couldn't stick with it. It
wasn't weird. It was just bad.
It was so bad. For comparison, because Artemis Fowl is a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, a movie we haven't seen, but even scored better, Kissing Booth 2, trending on Netflix, has a 26%.
Damn.
So I guess if you want a slightly better time than Artemis Fowl, watch the second.
Don't watch the first one.
I don't know either of the movies.
I don't want to watch either.
I don't either.
And so we won't be reviewing those. But I read the Artemis Fowl books, don't remember anything about them, but I remembered liking them, so I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's watch the movie. Let's see. Hopefully it's good, and like I can like kind of have that like nostalgia. But I saw the 9%, and I was like, hopefully this is the worst movie ever, and we can talk about it. And boy, howdy, it was so bad. The acting was so terrible.
It was really uncomfortable.
It was so bad, and I don't know who this kid was.
It was just children being poorly sassy and screaming fits.
Yeah, the concept, if you will, is this brainiac kid who knows everything.
Young Sheldon.
Yeah. Fucking pretty much. That's why it was so terrible. He's a freaking, for lack of a better word, twat to everybody around him. Yeah. Because he thinks he knows everything and knows he knows everything. Mm. And he's just such a dickhead kid. And like the whole time I'm just like, I want to punt him across the football field. Then also he just says like the corniest things, and like he's like, oh, I can't wait to meet your freaking boss and make a fool out of her because I'm Artemis Fowl and I'm so smart. And then at the end he like did a slow motion walk. Oh and, my
god. And he as like a 12-year-old called the ultimate bad guy to be like, we're coming for you. Yeah. And it's like, dude, like you're 12, like also, how do you have the bad guy's phone number? Like I'm confused. And the lead Fairy, I believe, the like lead detective, also a weirdly sassy child.
Yeah, and also just some of the lines were just like
when she was first
was
put
so awkward.
Yes, and they were awkward together.
Cringe.
When she was first put in her like I'll say cage because Artemis like trapped her, and she just yelled, I'm unhappy. And I was like, this is bad. Yeah. This is bad. Yep. And I was just like, I don't get it. I was so excited. The trailer, like literally people were like, if they put half the effort they put into the trailer, this might have been a good movie. And they were like, literally like the trailer looked magical. Like it was gonna be this really fun, magical world. And I was in for it when they were like doing the preview. It was like, we tapped into the like mystical world of Ireland, which Ireland is full of so much folklore and like mysteries, and like you had like a literal gold mine of like content stories. You could take it however. Let's just be really cringy and uncomfortable and horrible. It was
really bad.
Every single review was like, just read the books. Like the books are so good. Like you'll love the story. Like especially if like obviously reading them to kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're like, they will love them. Like do not like literally like for reviews for once we're like, don't waste your time, read the books, have a family moment, learn to read again, enjoy each other's company.
It absolutely deserves a 9%. if you have an hour and a half to kill and you want to watch a laughably bad movie, go ahead, but you're wasting an hour and a half of your life. So
if you want to watch dirt shoot out of Josh Gad's ass,
literally
watch Artemis Fowl.
So fucking bad. And some of the effects looked really bad,
They
which
really
was shocking
did.
for Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was bad.
Someone said they want a direct apology from Walt's frozen head. That was a review. So people were pretty fired up about it, but
yeah, not good.
No.
So yeah, I don't think it'll ever get worse than that. And we had a bad
had
a bad movie night.
We had a bad movie week last time. Maybe not week, but it felt pretty bad.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It was. I think we literally titled the episode "We Watch a Lot of Bad Movies."
Yep. Well, this week we watched
the
a lot
worst
of good shows and the worst movie ever.
Is every episode just gonna be an update on our watching habits?
Yeah. All right.
Sorry it was long, but
this was long.
It started with lots of laughs, got serious, and ended on a laughably bad note, just like our lives. But wish all the best to Michelle.
And her podcast, hopefully it takes off. Go give it a listen. And also, when you're listening to it, down in the comments of hers, let her know that
we sent you.
We hear from What's Happening sent you. If you could, wherever you listen to this, if you listen to it on Spotify, are we on Apple now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Apple's
Google?
being difficult. Yes, we should be on everything but Apple.
Wherever you're listening to this, if you wouldn't mind,
give it a follow or subscribe, however it works. Rate it if you can.
Please give us a rating. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you would want changed. Let us know if you've got anything going on that you would like us to talk about. You can find it on our YouTube channel, SM Squared. Mm-hmm. So if you watched the video version of this, leave a like. Again, down in the comments, let us know what you think. And we will see you guys for What's Happening, the next episode, number...
something.
Yep. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and we'll catch you next week for whatever crazy, stupid thing Shelby and I decide to do next.